all that first. We'll give you all of our social media. So, how and when did you start writing?
Okay, I've been writing a long time, and then I stopped writing for a long time. I always loved writing. I always loved it to creative writing classes in high school and college, and then life happened, and then I stopped. But I always had these great ideas. But I had these ideas. I had these ideas, and then I didn't pursue them until I want to say maybe 7 years ago, where I decided, you know, there's this idea I've been kicking around for years, and there was the one about future tense, where in high school we would always get back to school in January, and I'd always write the wrong year. One day I'm in class and I'm thinking, gee, I wonder what would happen if I wrote the wrong year and I traveled back in time. So that inspired future tense. So this has been in my head a long, long time. I won't say how long, but it's been a long time. Then what really got me into the game was this one, where a mutual friend of ours, Phil McCall, asked me to write a story about a vampire, and he knew how obsessed I was. I'm a huge Buffy fan, and so they were putting together an anthology, and he said, why don't you write me a story about a vampire? Okay. So I wrote the first one. It was called I, Vampire. Something happened, the anthology fell through, and he liked the story a lot though, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna publish it at the end of one of my books. Okay, great. And it had such a positive response, he said, why don't you write another one? Okay. So I wrote another short story about Blessing, and he really liked it too. So then he said, you know, for the third story, you can publish it as a book. Okay. So, okay, that's where Pleasant Journey was born. And I am pursuing a full-length novel with him eventually. I just put him on the back burner because then this other character who's been kicking around in my head, Grace Hunter, she's been in my head since 1992 when I came out of Batman Returns. And I couldn't help, you know, I love the movie and I kept thinking, I want to write a really cool superhero. I want to write a character that I really like, a female one, you know? And so I've had her in my head, and finally I decided, let me put Pleasant on the back burner and let me finally give her a voice. So then that's how she finally came along. So this is just the first part of her. I'm serializing her. My goal is 4 more books where it will eventually become a novel, and then from there I really, really want to have a graphic novel with her. So yes, it's my end game for racing.
That was awesome. Thank you. That covered my next question, so that's great. What is up next for you? What are you working on right now? Or can you tell us even?
I'm working on the second story.
Right.
I'm already halfway through the first 2 chapters. I've already done the first 2 chapters for the next one. I already, you know, we previewed this weekend. It's been previewed, so I wanted to see if, you know, people were responding to her, and so far, so good.
Good, great.
So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I'm hoping by January I have the next book.
Alright, what are the best and worst parts about being an author for you?
Writing?
Both, right? Yeah. Let's just call that both.
I hate the writer's block. That is my biggest struggle. With this one, I think I was stuck at one point for about a month, and just...
How do you get past it? Generally.
When I get stuck on a scene, I take a shower, and it helps. Sometimes I come out of there 5 minutes later, I got it. Other times, I just want to cry. And sometimes I just sit there and I stare at the screen until I break through that wall, and the idea finally comes in, and I'm like, okay, and then...
Are you a plotter or are you a pantser?
I'm sorry.
do you plot? Do you outline? Or do you just sit down and write? Okay, so you're a pantser.
Yes. That happened with... This wasn't an idea that I had conceived beforehand. It was something I was asked to do, and basically it was just me sitting down and we'll see what happens. I always have some ideas put together, and then I just let it flow, and then from there it just comes out, and I let the characters tell the story.
I think you mentioned yesterday that you said some
something, and sometimes I even bounce around. Like I'll have a scene so well fleshed out that I'll work on that scene.
Right.
And then another scene, so I might backtrack or I might go forward. But
I love that. I could never. I don't think I could.
I bounce
I'm
around. I can't do linear. I can't do linear. I'll do what pops in my head, and then if it works, it works. I just want it to be natural. I want the characters to feel organic.
Right.
I want the dialogue to flow naturally. As crazy a world that we put them in, I still want them to feel believable.
Great. Very cool. All right, what do you like to read as a reader?
What don't I read?
I know. I'm the same way. But
I haven't.
what is the
been
best
reading
book
lately.
you've read recently? Like even if it wasn't very recently.
The most recent for me was probably The Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, very nice.
I haven't been reading lately because I haven't had time with all the writing, and then I teach, and I'm a mom, and life, and just too many things going on. But yeah, that one really.
Yeah, I'll give you a crazy off-the-wall recommendation. I just listened to The Martian in audio.
So did my husband. And
Highly recommend
Yes.
it. It was
Yes. I would hear it here and there because my husband would listen to it at home.
It was so good.
But it's really, really good. But yeah, that's something that I'm gonna sit down and read that one.
Yeah, that was even in audio. In audio, it was fantastic. All right, here's the fun part. We're gonna do like rapid fire. DC or Marvel?
Marvel,
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars,
Vampires or werewolves?
vampires,
Daytime or nighttime?
nighttime,
Thor or Loki?
Loki,
Batman or Green Arrow?
Batman,
Supernatural or Game of Thrones?
Supernatural.
All right, awesome.
Did I get that right?
Yes. No, that's good. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And I am going to buy something to give to one of you, so make sure you enter